Om. 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 Saira, just to recollect what we were discussing last week, Swami is talking about us understanding what is the support, adhara, which is God, through inquiry and experience. And then Swami goes on to say that God is the essence of everything, rasa in water, the sound in the sky, and so on, pranava in the Vedas. I think that's what we were discussing last week before we closed the session. So I think we'll continue from there. Sai Ram, sisters.
Yes, Saya. For the seen, there is an unseen bias, unseen basis. I keep saying bias. To grasp the unseen, the best means is inquiry, and the best proof is experience. For those who have experienced, no description is needed. The nature and qualifications of individual beings are not important at all. They should not distract our attention. Concentrate rather on the inner reality, the basis of all the beings, the Brahman, that is the essential quest. There may be many varieties of flowers in a garland, even trivial ones, tamasic jivis, or flashy ones, rajasic jivis, or nice pure ones, sattvic jivis, but the string, the basis, the Paramatma is independent of all of them. There is unaffected. It is unaffected. It is Satya, Nitya, unaffected by time. Nirmala, pure, unaffected by desire. Flowers cannot become a garland without the string. So too, Brahman unites all jivis. You cannot separate the two in all things and substances. Brahman fills everything. The 5 elements are but its manifestations. It is the inner motive unseen by those who look only at the surface. It is the Antaryamin, God's spirit in all creation. In other words, that is why Krishna said, I am rasa, taste in water. I am effulgence, prabha in the sun and moon. I am the pranava, Om, the original sound in the Vedas. I am sound in the akasha, space. I am purusham, heroism or adventure and aspiration in man.
Thank you very much, sister. So we had discussed partially, so I will just open it up for discussion. Anyone who would like to share any thoughts, please go ahead. Because if I think if everyone feels that we have discussed it sufficiently, we can move on. Because Swami is again reiterating that God is the real thing which makes everything function in this world and gives the quality which all of them have. And if everyone is okay, then we will move on. Saira.
I just have one question about, can you explain a bit more about the Paurusham in man?
Yeah, in the Telugu, Swami says in man, he is Shakti as well as Paurusha. Paurusha means the quality of what makes a person called Purusha that quality is Paurushatva. Of course, manliness, people can also say, but I don't think they do justice to the word Paurusham. Purusha means it's almost divine. Okay. A divinity is because the real Purusha is God. So the thing is, you can say godliness and power in human beings is, I think that's where I understand. It's very difficult to translate the word Paurusham. In common language, people say it's heroism, manliness, someone, who goes to battle and fights and all that. But I think those are very worldly ways of interpreting that word. I think Swami has used it from a more, in a more spiritual perspective, is my view. I will ask Auntie to comment on it further. Sairam, Auntie.
Can we say courage? Paurusham is courage.
Courage also you can say.
You can say courage, heroism. And Shakti, the power one holds.
Yes.
As you said, Darun, it is the original Purusha, Bhagawan, Paramatma.
Yes.
It's Paurusham in man.
Yeah, because why I am saying that is in Dharma Vahini, Swami has a chapter where he's talking about Purusha. He says human beings have the same name as God, so they should be godly. This is what Swami says. See, the man should be like Ishvara, because Ishvara is the real Purusha. Because according to Swami, only God is Purusha, everyone else is Stri.
Stri.
But so some people among these three have gotten the opportunity to behave like or act like a Purusha. So they have to keep up the name or the title given to them and reflect the qualities of God. So this is what Swami says in Dharma Vahini. So only from that perspective, I said it's almost divinity. Okay. So.
And you said in the Telugu, it's Paurusham and Shakti, is that right?
Yeah, that Shakti Paurushamaga unnanu. He says only these two, Shakti, Paurusham.
See, as you can see, so, that's why, in translation you get, because every human being has a Shakti aspect as well as Purusha aspect. Shiva Shakti aspect. Okay, so there's a feminine nature means it's Shakti. It's mother. Okay, divine mother. That is the Shakti. And Purusha means Shiva. So we have a feminine divinity as well as masculine divinity embedded in us. And I think that is the way God is. And that is the way Swami is. That is my reading of the line side.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It makes a lot of sense, I feel. Shiva Shakti Swarupa.
Yes. But they have not translated it. But
No.
Swami has said Shakti and Paurusha.
And Purusha.
Okay.
Let us consider the topic of pranava, which has been mentioned. Krishna said that the pranava is the very life of the Vedas, is it not? The Vedas are reputedly anadi or
Anadi.
or beginningless. Pranava is spoken of as the very life breath of the Vedas, which are themselves beyond all beginning. Take it that the pranava is the subtle essence, the underlying form of every particle and substance in the universe. There are two parts in every single substance in the universe, name and form, nama and rupa. Take away these two and there is no prapancha or universe anymore. The form is conceived and controlled by the name. The rupa is dependent on the name. So if you reason out which is more lasting, you will find that the name is nityam, eternal, and the rupam is anityam, evanescent. Consider the case of persons who have done various good works, achieved meritorious deeds, constructed hospitals or schools or temples or places of worship. Now, even when their form is absent from the world of men to see, their names with all the associated fame are ever present in human memory, is it not? The rupam form lasts but for a brief time, but the namam name continues.
Thank you very much, sister. So Swami is, I think Swami starts off talking about pranava, sound, and Swami says it's beginningless, and he also says it's endless because it's a sound, name. Om will always remain, which is a part of a name. From that only every name has come, from the sound Om. And Swami says that the name lasts longer, forever, but the form disappears. And Swami is nicely explaining. I think Swami is slowly introducing the concept of Nama Rupa. So I think it's very nice. I will stop here. If anyone has something to say, please go ahead. So if yes, Sister Tanjini, please go ahead. You have to unmute and speak, sister.
Yeah, Rupam is Anityam. What do you mean by that? Can you explain that, please?
Anyone who would like to volunteer to talk about Rupam, which is Anityam?
So, Sairam, brother. So, in my understanding, is any rupa is not permanent. If we take any object, is subject to change. So, if subject to change mean as not permanent. So, name is going to be permanent. Even if we take our Swami, his form is disappear, but the name is there. Name is more sweeter than the form. Thank you, Sairam.
Sairam, brother.
Thank you.
Anyone else would like to? So I hope Sister Ranjini, you're okay with that.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, because we have the same name, but over decades, our form changes continuously. We don't look like the one, the child who was called with the same name today.
Yes,
So it is subject to change.
thank you. Sorry.
Sairam, can we also explain this sentence that the form is conceived and controlled by the name?
Okay. So I think we'll just read the Telugu if a auntie can.
Yeah. రూపమును స్వాధీనమునకు చేసుకున్నది నామము. నామమును ఆశ్రయించి ఉన్నది రూపము. ఇందులో ఏది నిత్యము అని యోచించిన నామము నిత్యము, రూపము అనిత్యము. That's what he's saying. The form is conceived and controlled by the name.
Adhinamu, I think that's the way they have translated.
అధీనము. తీసి నామమును ఆశ్రయించి ఉన్నది రూపము. రూపమును స్వాధీనము చేసుకున్నది నామము. Rupa has taken the controlled, just what he said. స్వాధీనము చేసుకున్నదంటే it has owned it. కదా.
Yes. so the translation may not be very accurate, Kalyani, but I think the simply put, the form is an explanation of the name. For example, if you say apple, the word is independent, but you can show so many apples, but the apple is meaningless without the name, padam. So one is called pada and the other one is called padartha. So the name is the foundation on which the object is dependent, without the name. So when you say name, actually it also means a concept. And the form is only a materialization of that thing. That's the way I understand. Anyone else who has something to say, please.
You said a word in the Telugu, Adi Swadhina.
Swadhinam.
What does that mean, sorry?
Swadhinam, it has more or less control is the word, it can be. Swadhinam.
So Adinam can also say authority. So it is within the authority of the word, you can say that. Okay. Swadhinam can also means one who takes it in their control, in their possession.
Possessive, possession.
Yeah. So you can say the Rupa is possessed by form. Sorry, Rupa is possessed by the name. Or the form is possessed by, that also you can say.
But furthermore, why the name is important, also we have to think about it, right? Why the name is important. So name goes with the attributes. That's the way we remember the God. Is that okay? Goes with the name?
The form may not last longer, as Swami has said. Form may not
why
be.
Name is last longer? So the name has something in it for us to remember.
When you utter the name of Swami, Sai, or Krishna, Rama, immediately you remember the form, isn't that?
Yeah, and the attributes. So the name carries a lot.
Yeah, that's it. And the form cannot be permanent. It is it undergoes changes. Rupa changes a lot. So only the name will remain.
Because even if you say Swami or Sai, each one will picture form differently. Okay, that itself, the way each person imagines also will be different, but the name will not be.
Name. Yeah.
So actually, some of the characteristics, sister, is actually related to the form. Saguna Sakara, because, for example, for Swami, wearing this clothes, or, he's saying this. Because the name doesn't have anything. Whether Swami is happy or angry, no quality. Actually, it's just name.
Yeah.
But then the form is the one which produces or makes you experience some of these characteristics. So that's why Swami says we should always do Nama Sankirtan. Nama Sankirtan is beyond language. The name is name. So I would say name is even slightly beyond qualities also. It stands apart from even the qualities. Like Swami would say Nama Sankirtanam, then we have Guna Sankirtanam, Leela Sankirtanam. You can describe, Shiva with, who is wearing the moon and all that is Guna. Or, you are describing the form. But Shiva is Shiva. There's nothing more. It's just a name.
I think one other factor, brother, is Nama is devoid of any Panchabhutas that we see or experience. Whereas Rupa is made of Panchabhutas. Whether we accept it or not, even God has to, the one who doesn't actually need anything of this, still has to go through this Panchabhutas and materialize himself into a body, which obviously is not Nityam. So in that way also Nama stays forever because it doesn't attach to anything except for the Akshara, which again is translated to Nityam. Akshara, or it stays forever, right? It doesn't have any death, Akshara itself. So in that way also Nama stays forever while Rupa will have, but the image that we keep associated with Nama will help us traverse this whatever Bhavasagara we are in, and will help us to reach our goal with the help of Nama and Rupa. So both are important, but Nama stays forever. Sairam.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Just one, I thought one as a comment I would make. Nama is with one bhuta, Akasha, because sound is the subtlest of all
Yes,
five,
yes,
Akasha.
yes, brother. I agree.
Because Swami in the previous paragraph is saying
And
sound is the essence. God, he is. This is Prabha in the sun. I am the sound in the Akasha.
Yes, yes.
So he identifies with the name, which is in the Akasha, but the other bhutas are more gross. So
And I think that is one reason why it is more superior.
yes,
Because Akasha, Vayu, Vayo, Agni, Agni, Rabha. So that is the source of all this.
exactly.
That is the seed, as you explained rightly. That is the seed, and it can take up any form. Any of the Panchabhutas it can take, if it whatever it wants. It's like a seed and has the potential of taking any form. And hence we say Sai, he can take a form of laughing Swami, or an angry Swami, or sitting Swami, or sleeping Swami, but still the name is the same. Sairam.
Sairam. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, Brother Thasan.
Yes, yes, Arambra, I like to add to the point again. If we take Lord Krishna or Lord Rama or Bhagawan, Sathya Sai Baba or Siradi Baba, they are no longer with the form, but the name is there. So we are meditate on the name. That's what they say. That name is powerful than the form. Thank you, Sairam.
Sairam. Like many saints have sung that because as long as they have name, they are not worried about form disappearing. Because with the name, they can buy the form. They will say, we have name, so no problem. We have the money to buy the form.
Yeah.
So some saints have sung like that.
I think it is Bhakta Ramadas also, brother,
Yeah.
where Lord Rama comes and offers him moksha. You come with me, I'll give you moksha. But Ramadasu asks, what is moksha? More than singing your name, what else is moksha? Like, other than your name, I don't need any moksha. Please keep me here only. So Rama had to literally beg him to come and experience moksha. So that's the power of the bliss in the name.
so the name carries a lot of attributes, a lot of things to meditate. So, yeah, that's very nice.
If,
Can we say that the name has authority over the form, or it possesses the form? I'm just thinking, like, it just seems like, say you see something and then you name it an apple. Like, it seems like the form is there first and then you give it a name. But is it the other way around? Or?
so the name existed before the form comes into being, is Sanatana Dharma tradition. So because the world itself came from sound. Okay. So that is the belief. That is the philosophy. The name existed before the form appeared. So, but for anyone who has not known the name, sometimes you show the, for example, if you're teaching a child, you'll tell the name first and then show the picture. We can of course show the picture and then give the
Yeah, even in reverse can take place.
and take place. Yeah, which Kalyani was talking about.
Saravana, so like in the context of Krishna. So we know in the Dwapara Yuga, there were three Krishnas. One is Krishna Dvaipayana, who is Vedavyasa. Other is Lord Krishna. And Draupadi, who was called Krishna, so the our god. So that name Krishna was there even before Lord Krishna was born. That name was always there. And when Lord Krishna took upon that name, the attributes and the experience followed. So that will be a good way to relate to the fact that sound or akasha has always been there, and then the rest of the elements trickle down. And so in terms of the name, it has always been there, and then the form has trickled down. So that kind of understanding can come.
Thank you. Thank you. I think which is what Swami always talks about. The apparently few mothers got together and they were arguing who is better. Swami says, Hanuman's mother, Agastya's mother, and Kaushalya. And they were all saying, and Kaushalya said, no, my son is the best and the biggest because he's Rama. All of them are Hanuman's devotee and Agastya is, worshipping him or something like that. So then Rama enters the place there and he says, he tells Mother Kaushalya, see, look here. I became great because of the name Rama, which you all gave me. And the name Rama existed much before I was born. Apparently, Sri Rama tells his mother. So the name, as Sai Sathya Sai said, name has always existed. And Rama was given that name. Something like that. Yes, thank you, Sai Sathya.
Brother, is that we can relate to the Sai also? Siradi Sai, you can worship Sathya Sai Center.
Yes, Swami's name also existed before Swami was born. Satya, the word Satya.
Yes.
For ordinary people like us, after we are born, names are given to us. Of course, those names already existed. For example, Aruna existed before. My name, it also existed before. So those particular names are given to all of us, people like us.
So at the same time, brother, Sai means she always inside or she always in others. Thank you, Sai Ram.
Brother, that's the reason they say, little outside of the topic that says you have the condom or something that's already, they have that,
Yes.
sword or something they say condom. So is that the name is already exists? That's why they're able to read it for you, right? That's like a horoscope thing.
And so Swami is equating everything to Pranava. The real name of God is actually Om.
Om.
Okay, so that's where Swami started and he is ending it here. So Om is the name of God. And Om is the source of everything. And Om existed before everything. So if everyone is okay, shall we move on?
Names are countless and so are rupams. But there is one matter which you have to take into consideration here. A matter which is within the daily experience of all, from the Pandit down to the ignoramus. Aksharas or letters. In Telugu, there are 52 letters. In English, there are just 26. Even if you pile up the entire literary output in Telugu or in English, and the piles rise mountain high, it is all composed of either the 52 Telugu letters or the 26 English ones, not a single letter more. Similarly, in the human body, there are 6 nerve centers, all in the form of the lotus flower. All the 6 lotus forms have one letter or sound attached to each petal, like the reeds in the harmonium. When the petals are moved, each one emanates a distinct sound. Those who follow this statement intelligently may get a doubt. If the petals are said to move, who or what is moving them? Yes, the force that moves them is the
Anahata Dvani.
Anahata Dvani, the primeval sound, the undistinguished, indistinguishable sound, emanating without effort, irrespective of conscious will. That is the pranava. As beads in the string, all letters are sounds they represent are strung on the pranava. That is the meaning of the statement. That is, that he is the pranava of the Vedas. Krishna's teaching is that you should merge your mind in pranava, which is the universal basis.
Thank you very much, sister. So Swami is nicely, I think the first paragraph does not need much by way of additional commentary. But then Swami is touching the 6 chakras of process in our body. Each of them have multiple number of petals, and each of the petal is a sound. So the 52 aksharas Swami is talking about are supposed to be the sound produced by each of the petals in all these 6 chakras. So when the mantras are discovered by rishis, and certain mantras have to be chanted in a certain way, what it means is, by chanting this mantra, you activate each of those petals in the chakras in your body, and they have certain beneficial effect even at the physical level. Also, physical level, mental level, at all levels, they energize. That is why sound is very important. Vedas, scientifically developed the mantras. So I think Swami is sort of touching upon that. And Swami has also introduced the Anahata Dvani. Anahata means the unstruck sound. The sound which doesn't, before vibration itself takes place, which is silence. So I will stop here. Anyone, please go ahead. Others can share your thoughts, please.
Right, just in the word Anahata Dwani. So what does Dwani mean?
Sound.
Sound. Okay. And Anahata means unstruck.
Yes.
And Anahata Dwani is the same as Pranava?
No, see, Pranava, I think we looked at Akara, Ukara, Makara, and then there is the Swami calls it Adhirata. Okay. Sound which is transcends the Akara, Ukara, Makara, the silence. And so that is the underlying one from which the sounds emanate. I think we touched on some of this in the first or second session of Sanskrit class. It's basically how sound is produced. Before the sound is produced, it is Anahata Dvani, which creates a stir, vibration, and then the sound comes out. But it's just like Turiya Avastha, That's Auntie, you want to add some? Please go ahead.
In Telugu, 52 it is Ebadi Rendu. Ebadi. Yeah, it is written as Ebadi Rendu. I had not come across 52 Tamil.
Yeah, ma.
ఇదే మరి తెలుగులో 72 అక్షరములు.
Yes.
So all the chakras have a number of petals. Each chakra has different number of petals. Each petal, one akshara is written, it seems, Swami is. When we chant some mantra, that particular akshara must vibrate in the body. Isn't that?
Yes.
That is what Swami is saying. The difference between ahata shabda, ahata dvani and anahata dvani, that also we should know. When we strike our hands or something which we strike together, it produces sound. That is ahata dvani. This anahata dvani, without any striking of any of the objects, the sound is heard. That is anahata dvani. When you stand near the ocean, you can hear that kind of sound, not because of the waves or anything like, but one particular sound which you can hear, but it is not coming because of the waves hitting each other. That's what I have heard people saying, that anahata dvani. It's in the space. It's the space when everything is calm, you can hear that sound.
Sai Ram, this is Sakwanti. The following sentence, undistinguished, indistinguishable sound.
Yeah.
Can you explain the different? Is this what Auntie was explaining?
I think so.
Yeah, so
Undistinguished.
because Auntie,
I
Telugu,
think-
what is
No, no.
Telugu? Just read.
You want me to read there from
Yes,
Telugu?
yes, Auntie.
ఓకే ఓకే ఇచ్చట బుద్ధివంతులకు ఒక సందేహం కలుగవచ్చును. ఈ రేఖలందలి అక్షరములు కదలవలెనన్న ఏదో ఒక కదలించు శక్తి ఆధారమై ఉండవలను కదా. అది నిజమే. ఆ కదలించు శక్తియే ప్రణవము. ఇది అనాహతమైన ధ్వని. ఇది అప్రయత్నమున కలుగును. But this sentence, Arun, I'm little confused here in Telugu. Hello?
Yes, Auntie.
ప్రయత్నములతో కలిగే ధ్వని అనాహత ధ్వని అందరూ அப்படின்னு சொல்றாரு. அது I don't think it is not. ఆహత ధ్వని అది இல்லையாது. ప్రయత్నములతో కలిగే ధ్వని ఆహత ధ్వని. பட் இங்க தெலுங்குல அனாஹத்தான்னு எழுதிருக்கு.
I see.
Oh, I think it is ஆஹத ధ్వని. இல்ல?
Auntie, you just read that part where you said aprayatnamuto kalugunu. What is that line, Auntie? That is, does it say anahata? Can you just read it again?
ఈ కదలించు శక్తియే ప్రణవము. ఇది అనాహతమైన ధ్వని. ఇది అప్రయత్నమున కలుగును. The next sentence.
Kalugu. Okay. So
what does the mean? Yeah.
But the next sentence is little confusing. ప్రయత్నములతో కలిగే ధ్వని అనాహత ధ్వని అందరూ அப்படின்னு ఎదుర్కే. I think that's
a mistake somewhere.
Spelling mistake. That's all.
Because Swami has already said aprayatnamuto kalugunu.
అదే. సో ప్రయత్నములతో కలిగేది ఆహత ధ్వని.
Yes.
But what do you mean aprayatnamuto kalugunu? What is the meaning of aprayatna?
Without any effort.
So effortlessly, that means within us, the anahata of the Om is going on. Is that the meaning? That continuously, whether we are aware of it or not, because it is effortless, is it something, because they say that in the absolute silence, you should be able to hear the Omkar. So does it mean that within us that, yes.
Please go ahead, Arun.
So I'm fine, Auntie. Brother Thasan has put up his hand.
So Sairam, brother, if we take harmonium, if you want to hear the sound, our finger is supposed to move on to harmonium. So finger is the one making that one. Same in our body that Swami is explaining with the petal. Who is making that vibration? When we come to that level, that that is the God is doing that one. That is the for that thing, that mechanism is called Anagata Vani. That is my understanding.
No, it's not it.
Brother, is it
Pranava.
okay?
Sorry,
Yeah.
go on.
Brother, is it okay if we read sentence by sentence? Because Swami explaining about the letters are in Telugu and this how it has formed, it's able to form a lot of things. So similarly in the human body also, there are 6 nerve system has like a lotus flower. What is referred by the 6 lotus flower and the petals? How we can move the petals, we are we can understand the petal, then the movement of petal, what is that, how that when the petals are moved, so moved, when the petals are moving, how, what is that referred by the moving of petal means, how that would take place?
So you're asking about
No,
what?
The
Swami-
chakras and chakras.
Auntie, you can read, I guess, from line by line. We will discuss, Auntie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I should read from this. Okay. తెలుగునందు గల 72 అక్షరములే తప్ప మరేమీ ఎక్కువ ఉండవు. Only 52 letters in Telugu language we have.
And there are not more.
ఆంగ్లమున చూచిన 26. There are 26 letters in English. So there is nothing new in it. అటలనే మానవుని దేహమందు కూడాను, in human body, ప్రాముఖ్యమైన 6 నాడి కేంద్రములు ఉన్నవి. 6 chakras are there. నాడి కేంద్ర, he calls it, Swami. అవి కమలా
Nerve centers. Nadi means nerve centers.
Nerve centers. Okay. అవి కమలాకారమును చెంది ఉండును.
They are in the form of lotus.
Lotus shape. ఈ 6 కమలాకారములు చేరి మొత్తము 72 రేఖలుండును.
So there are 52 petals.
Yeah. ఒక్కొక్క రేఖపై కూడా ఒక్కొక్క అక్షరము ఏర్పడి ఉండును.
So in each of the petals, akshara, one letter, is formed, or it has come into being, you can say.
హార్మోనియంలో ఉండు రీడ్స్ వలె ఒక్కొక్క రేఖయు కదలు సమయమున ఒక్కొక్క విధమైన శబ్దము బహిర్గతమగుచుండెను.
So just the way in the harmonium, each of the petal creates certain sound in each of them.
Yeah. ఇచ్చట బుద్ధివంతులకు ఒక సందేహము కలుగవచ్చును.
Yes, so Swami has equated each of the petal to a reed in a harmonium inside, okay? And then Swami said, people who are intelligent may have a doubt.
ఈ రేఖలందలి అక్షరములు కదలవలెనన్న ఏదో ఒక కదిలించు శక్తి ఆధారమై ఉండవలెను కదా.
So if they are producing sound, there should be some power which is making them move so that the sound is produced. So that is who it is or what it is.
అది నిజమే. ఆ కదలించు శక్తియే ప్రణవము.
So Swami says pranava is the sound energy which makes them move.
ఇది అనాహతమైన ధ్వని.
This is anahata dhvani. So that is the pranava which Swami is referring to, is that unstruck sound. So in pranava there is the underlying sound which is unstruck, anahata, is the one which makes the sound even a, u, come. For example, yes, Auntie.
ఇది అప్రయత్నమున కలుగును.
It happens without effort.
ప్రయత్నములతో కలిగే ధ్వని ఆహత ధ్వని అందురు.
So effort, but the sound produced with effort is called ahata.
Ahata. Ahata. I think this is a printing mistake. It should be.
Yes. Or somebody would have said, "Oh, Swami missed it," because they don't see. Sometimes people who type some of these books, they think originally that was missed out, and they will add it. People try to be very helpful, along the way, because they have not read what Swami has said, but it's okay.
So, but that primal sound is already there, but it takes a shape afterwards. The
Yes.
vibration is there without any effort. It continuously is going on. Then the form, the ah, u, takes place. Then it comes out as om.
Thank you.
So, sorry, go ahead.
No,
Yeah,
Kalyan. There's
Kalyan.
anahata. I can only hear anahata. So let Kalyani, you go first.
Oh, no, I just wanted to clarify. So the relationship between pranava and anahata dwani is that the pranava is the shakti that makes the petals in the nerve center move. And when Swami saying pranava here, he's referring to the underlying sound before the a, u, and emanate. And that underlying sound is the anahata dwani.
Yeah.
I think your question is pranava anahata, is that?
Yeah. Or how are they related?
Yeah. So in pranava, akara, ukara, makara, and then anahata. The anahata is the one underlying the a, u, which we hear. So that exists before the a is pronounced, and it exists after the is pronounced. So even the a, u, come because of that anahata dwani, which is the real pranava. Just the way God exists within us, even though our form is moving around, there's something which makes it come out. That is God. So same way, the anahata dwani in the pranava is the one which moves and makes the sound be produced. Is this what I understand? I think Swami has covered this when he has given many discourses on pranava. And in one of the discourses, Swami refers to this anahata dwani as adhirata. I think Sai Satish will be able to comment on this. Sai Satish, now it's your turn.
Yes, Anas. So I was just going to say that actually we talk about materialization, vibration, and radiation. But in the true sense, it is actually radiation, vibration, and materialization. Because if the way we chant the Omkara, the should be at the navel, and the U should be at the kanta or the throat, and the should be at the where it ends, that is at the head. So if you see, it is literally like the creation of the sound starts from the bottom. That is, it starts at each of the chakras. If you see, right from Mooladhara, Swadhisthana, Manipuraka, Anahata, Vishuddhi, Agneya, and Sahasrara. So the all of the chakras, as we chant, that whole thing of like how Swami would say, like a plane that is coming from far, we hear the sound approaching. So the starts going all the way to U, and then going to M. So that whole thing, like what Anna was saying, it starts from that silence of Anahata, and then it reverberates right from the navel all the way up to the throat, all the way up to the head, with the coming, and then again there is silence, because it is literally like you have gone, when you chant the part of the Om, it's literally like the mind becomes completely silenced, and it's supposed to go back into being nothing. So from you're starting from nothing, and like literally the whole of the creation comes, and then it goes back into being nothing. So literally the however you want to call it, the big bang, big crunch, however the whole creation starts and things. So with every Omkara, starting from Anahata, going through the Ahata, going back to Anahata, that complete cycle, And as we do that, each of those 6 centers are activated and going through Sahasrara, where there's 1,000 petal kind. So ultimately, when it goes, it helps the Kundalini traverse all the way from the Muladhara to Sahasrara by doing it the right way with the right intention, with keeping Swami in mind, and then achieve that. So that's the whole thing of Omkara itself.
Sairam, Sati, just I'm not on a debate. I don't know whether you realized or not. You mentioned Anahata. So Anahata is the heart chakra. So some of the Kundalini theory is the initial thought occurs in the navel, and it travels up to Anahata, and it produces the Anahata sound. And then actually at the throat, the vocal cords start vibrating. The vibration happens in the throat area, which is Vishuddhi, I said. And that's where the A is produced in a visible form. Before that, Para, Pashyanti Madhyama, it's like that.
Vaikari Pashyanti Madhyama.
So Vaikari is where the vibration takes place. Madhyama and then Pashyanti. Para, Siri auntie, Vaikari, Pashyama.
Vaikari Pashyati.
So I thought I just mentioned, because that is why that heart chakra is called Anahata, because that is the place where the Anahata Dwani starts. Before that, it was just beyond that also, but it comes from the navel, as you said. But the thing is, each of the petal actually is connected to the creation of a certain sound, and they start from the Muladhara itself. Those petals are there, and they are the one who trigger, and when it comes, it takes form at the vocal cord level, and then Madhyama is in the middle, and then it comes out. Vaikari is, it has come, which reaches the ear of the other person. It's Vaikari. Sorry, I hope I just... It's just Anandi. I think after a long time...
Oh, Anand. Welcome, Anand.
Sairam.
I was asking you, where were you all these days?
Auntie, she was in the Anahata state.
Oh.
And now she has...
Now Ahata. Now it's going to be Ahata.
Thank you for your thoughts, Auntie. When I look at this paragraph, I thought all these 6 chakras are, according to our discussion, and even Mani Auntie and Brother Sai Sadish also mentioned that activating the 6 chakras are effortless, and even without our conscious will, it would automatically activated. But why do we have the difficulties in activating if that statement is true? If it is effortless, and if it is the nature of the human being, why do we have problems or difficulties in activating these chakras? In other words, why do we have the difficulties in meditating or to get into the Anahata stage? Thank you, Sairam.
Sister, you're asking if there's no need for any effort, why is it not happening? Is
that
simple terms? The thing, okay, I will just go first. I think it is happening, but we are not aware of it. But I will ask others to comment on Sairam. Anyone, please?
So Sairam brother, if I ask someone where is the God mean, you have to experience it. If you through the sadhana. So if you take the milk, if someone says there's a curd is there or there's a ghee is there, So you have to do the sadhana and to get the ghee. Same way, if you want to see the universal the bliss or something, your mind has to be trained. That last sentence is nicely explaining. You should merge your mind in the pravana. So that means when you merge with that, then you will see it. That's the problem. We are not concentrating our mind with the God. Thank you.
Thank you very much, brother. Anyone else would like to comment?
Sai Ram, I would like to quickly add what I learned during various programs that we did in front of Swami. I felt as this passage was being read through, I think I may be oversimplifying what brothers have told just now. It may be understatement also, but in my limited understanding, what this paragraph is telling is he is that harmonium player. He is the director behind every scene. He is that source behind every sound. And I'm sure Brother Sai Satish or Brother Arun, when they were in Parthi, I'm sure they would have told at least once or twice to Swami, Swami, please act through me. Please speak through me. Before anyone goes to telling a speech in front of Swami, they tell Swami, please speak through me. Or when we do some drama and we are playing some important role or even a small role in front of Swami, we tell Swami, you should act through me. And in the end, Swami also acknowledges that I am the one who has done through you. So this particular paragraph, I think rightly Swami has in fact very cheekily told that if you are an intelligent one, you'll have this question, that who is playing all these sounds, who is creating all these sounds, and effortlessly Swami is the one who's playing all these sounds and creating the sounds. And like how Sister Ananti has asked, what is that it is stopping? Our impurities are stopping that. And for us to be a clean instrument, we need to continuously practice all the sadhanas that have been prescribed by Swami. Sai Ram.
Thank you very much, brother. I'm reminded of one of the incidents, where in some interaction between a student and Swami. One Swami comes and asks, where is the sound coming from? Somebody was playing flute inside the mandir, and outside the sound was coming. So I think it relates. I think Sai Satisha, somebody may be able to explain it better. But the boy says, Swami, it's coming from inside.
From the speaker. From the speaker.
Yes. Swami said, it's not coming from the speaker, it's coming from inside. We hear it from the speaker because of the speaker, but actually the sound is produced inside and it goes through the wire and it comes out in the speaker. So Swami, I reminded of that. I don't know whether I have told the incident properly, but as Sai Satish or Sitaram can. And Sister Ananti was asking, maybe I will just comment on her question. Sister, because we are unable to hear the effortless sound only because we are busy with effort. So we are busy in this world with all sorts of things. So because of that, the silence is not heard. I think there's another quote of Swami where he says, in the silence,
he can hear these footsteps of
God, the sound. So it's the same thing. So I think all sadhana is actually to quieten ourselves, quieten the mind, quieten our effort, and then everything is effortless, is my understanding. So because we are unable to hear that effortless sound, and all sadhana is to slowly make the effort subside and the mental agitation subside.
So does that mean that all of the sounds are in this world much more louder or powerful than this, the sound of Om? That's why we are unable to hear what is going on within ourselves. Maybe we focus more on the other sounds that is maybe the mistake is in our part. Also, Brother Sitaram beautifully said that maybe harmonium also should be clean, or maybe it should be in a good form. Then only we can hear the sound, uh, uh, without effort. If the harmonium is, needs to be repaired or something, even if the press was hardly, we wouldn't get any sound, or we will get a different sound than it should be. Maybe I got a good understanding. Thank you so much for all the brothers and Mani Aunty. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Saramana, I'll just add one point here, like Sitaram mentioned about our impurities and things being busy, or when Anna was saying about we are putting in the effort, and so that is why that effort, that delusion that we are putting in the effort is what is taking it away. Once in the interview room, Swami asked one of the boys, have you seen a street dog? He said, yes, Swami. And then Swami asked him, do you see how it runs about? And then Swami literally showed like how it puts out its tongue and runs around. And then Swami said, see, to me, sometimes I see like the way you're running around is like that, because the street dog thinks that it is the most busy or the most important person doing the most important job, and it gives that appearance and it keeps running around, but actually it amounts to nothing. So where our true effort should be, or basically Swami is guiding in terms of so many things that we take upon, whether worldly duties and things. Swami is telling not to let go of it, but the importance we attach to it, we take it upon that is as if the most important thing, but actually the importance should be attached to Bhagavan. So it is what we attach importance to. And in terms of even this sound of listening to that anahata sound effortlessly, there's been another incident where Swami has asked a few boys to just close their eyes and keep listening to the sound. And he made them do it repeatedly, where they could listen to a few more sounds every time they closed their eyes. They could listen to something more expansive happening on the outside, to go to a level where they were going even more beyond. Because whether you go beyond or whether you go deep within, the idea is to go into that space of silence. And when we go into that, like, when we are in the depths of silence, the voice of God can be heard. Literally in that silence will the anahata reveal itself in its full glory, where really the pranava or the omkara will start reverberating. So it is that effort to become effortless in the right direction is what is required. Sairam.
Sairam, thank you, Sai Satish. Thank you.
Sairam, just a question, and Brother Sai Satish, you have said something which I was thinking of asking, that how to concentrate or divert our mind, and what is that sound, what is that sadhana? We have talked about sadhana, our efforts should be in a meaningful manner, so that we can hear that sound, which is effortless sound. So is there anything from your experience and learning, or whoever it is, that what is that sadhana we should take, or the sound that it will help us? Believe me, last 1 month specifically, I'm making very conscious effort. I thought I'm meditating. Actually, I was not. I'm just fooling around myself. And I'm not able to. I mean, maybe a few seconds, but if it's helpful, or if you can guide that to start with, to control that mind, or to divert to that sound particularly, that I can concentrate on. Just a practical, I would say, life application thing, if you can give.
Sairam sister. I will open up. Sister has asked a very profound question. So I will ask anyone who has been able to find another sound to share.
So, Sairam brother, Swami says always, I can put it in a nutshell, in silence, you can hear my sound. The silence means so many things are included. Thank you, Sairam.
Sairam. Anyone else would like to share? Yes.
Yeah, Saravana. So I'll just share where Swami had told one of the boys something, and I thought this might be of relevance here, but it's basically Swami's blessing, however he guides each and every person on their sadhana, and based on our effort and his grace. So Swami said, ask this boy, like, because those days Swami was giving darshan in car. So when this boy asked Swami, how should I do meditation, or how should I do my sadhana? Swami had said, when I come to give darshan, what do you see first? And so the boy was still thinking what to say, and then Swami himself said, you see my car coming in first. As the car rolls into Sai Kulwan Hall, you see the car, and then slowly as you continue looking into the car, you see me seated in the car. And so likewise, Swami said, in the context of meditation, you start observing the breath, and then as you observe the breath and you stay with that and go a little deeper, then depending on Swami's blessing, that part of seeing Bhagawan can happen with time. But of course, I'm also putting that this could be something that Swami gave to that person. It need not be something that is applies to everybody. Since that boy had asked Swami, Swami mentioned it to him. But if it applies to us, if it works for us, we could try that. But it is ultimately our the same thing, Shraddhavan Labhate Jnanam kind of a thing, our sincerity, our purity, our effort to and find the Swami's grace happening. But that could be one thing that just comes to my mind with a thought I'll share. Sairam.
Thank you very much, Sai Satej. Anyone? Yes, please. So I think I can ask because I think we have done Geetha Vahini for a few months. So I don't know if anyone would like to share anything which they remember. I remember Swami sort of touching upon some of this, and we had lengthy discussions also.
That doesn't sound very happy moments that we discuss and we don't remember. Including me, including I'm saying me because I wasn't that. That's a shame. That's a shame.
No, it's okay. I think all of us, we are busy studying that, sometimes we forget what we have already gone through, I think. But I think we have to go back and, because the topic is very vast, sister. So I mean, what are the obstructions in the dhyanam and what we have to do? What are the things which we have to cultivate? The time we spend during our day determines the time when we sit down for prayer. All that Swami has covered. So the impediments come from variety of things. And so the preparation is not only when we are sitting down. Swami has given a series of things, preparatory steps. What do we do, with whom we associate, what are the activities we indulge in, etc., etc., etc. So we can't sort of summarize all that. And different aspects of those lack of preparation can result in the result of when we sit down for dhyana. So that's what I in a nutshell I can say.
Yeah. No,
But
that I remember. Yeah, that in fact, I think a couple of weeks ago we were talking about that, how discipline, and I think that applies here as well. When we do meditation, discipline is key, the timing, what you do. So what I was looking more is there's a specific sound. So I was just myself thinking, we talk about Om as brothers. Some of them said that how a has to come from your navel. So do you think that could be one of those sounds? It depends upon what resonates with each one of us. Everybody's different on their spiritual path. So if that sound of Om, how we recite, not just Om, but making a very conscious effort of how it's coming out, even that may help our mind to concentrate how it's coming, where it's coming, and that may help us to meditate in a meaningful manner. But I know now what you're saying is that it's a whole, the process what help us to meditate.
Yeah,
Thank
on
you so much.
on the
Sorry.
topic of, I think, because we have studied that, I think every opportunity is good for revision. If I remember correctly, Swami says there are many people, they say they hear this sound, that sound in meditation. And then Swami says that is their own imagination. And that also Swami has said. I think either in Sandhya Vahini or in Dhyana Vahini, but
Yeah.
Swami has, see, the reality is, sister, Anahata Dvani cannot be heard. It can only be experienced. Because it is beyond, it's unstruck. If it's unstruck, we can either through the external ear or the inner ear also we can't hear. It is something to be experienced, is what I understand. But Swami has covered this reasonably well in the Dhyana Vahini. So I would rather like to, if I told we are going to discuss, we should put the material up and discuss. But I think because the sound has distracted us, so I think it's relevant, but I think it's okay.
I think we should refer to the book, bring the book, and then particular chapter where Swami is speaking about Anahata Dvani. I think we should read it and then discuss it.
So I hope, sister, I hope I didn't disappoint you.
Not at all. Not at all. No, not at all. I will definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You can take a look at the Dhyana Vahini again.
Yes. I will.
Okay. So I think
revise my notes.
Yes, thank you. So we will, if it's okay, we will again come back to Anahata Dvani. So Swami has basically explained that God is the one who makes things happen. Just the way harmonium reeds, there's air which actually makes the reeds vibrate. The equivalent of that air in our body, Swami is saying, is pranava, the Anahata Dvani, which makes it vibrate, that energy. Our body doesn't have someone pumping the bellows and the air coming and all that. But the Anahata Dvani is capable of doing all that. So if Ola okay.
There was a question asked. I also waiting for that answer. Sakwanti asked about the primal sound, the indistinguishable sound. What is we know the petals move by the Pranava mantra now. With that you effortlessly happen, but we have to meditate and understand that. What is meant by the indistinguishable sound?
In the Telugu, I don't think we found anything. Auntie, can you please take a look at it?
Yeah.
I searched, but my eyes don't find anything like that.
So because of it's unconscious, it's not happening with a conscious will, we cannot distinguish. That's what it's meant by that.
Yeah, so let's just, sister.
No, Swami, it is not indistinguishable and undistinguished sound. He doesn't say that, but he said, Aprayatnamuna kalugunu. That's what it says. Kadalinchu shaktiye pranavamu. Idi anahadamaina dvani.
Idi aprayatnamuna kalugunu.
Telugulo. Ante.
Yeah, so sister, this word seem to be because of the striking these words have come out here in English,
Yeah,
in
yeah,
translation process.
yeah.
There is Swami has not mentioned anything like that. Swami has just used the word Anahata Dvani, which is, I think this is an attempt at translating the word Anahata Dvani for people who don't know. That's the way I understand.
Yeah, I think Anahata has been translated as undistinguished, indistinguishable sound.
Yeah,
you cannot make out that sound.
You can't make out the sound, which is what I was
Yes.
telling. See, because your ear will not help here. Because ear is the one which distinguishes the sound. Or able to, it is this sound, that sound. All that happened with the ear. Ear is of no use because it is unstruck sound. So I think all explanation of the word Anahata Dvani through all these words is what I understand. I hope.
Yeah, exactly.
That now makes sense. Yeah, thank you.
And is the part about irrespective of conscious will, is that there?
No.
No, emanating without ever. Aprayatnamana kalugunu. That's all he has written. Swami has written.
Aprayatnamu kalugunu, I think, has been translated as irrespective.
Conscious will. Conscious will. Prayatna he has taken as conscious will.
Yes.
Prayatna is also effort?
Yatna means effort. Prayatna means a lot of effort.
Okay. So does that mean, like, say these words that I'm speaking now, like they have already been like set in motion by the Anahata Dvani, like before they even come to my mind, before I even think of them, it's already happened. Like it's like inevitable that I'm speaking what I'm going to speak. Is it right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. That's good.
There's a I don't know whether to call it a concept or what, but they say that in the Sahasrara, the 1,000-petal lotus in the top of our head, whichever petal Lord Krishna's feet touches as he's dancing, that thought or that line of thinking or that set of neurons, whatever you want to call it according to science, gets fired. But that is not to put the whole onus on Krishna and us escaping out of it, but that because ultimately it is from that anahata that the ahata comes. So it is from nothing that everything comes. So even as what we speak, even we go from thought, word, and deed. So there is prior to thought, and that is where the Atman is the one who initiates the whole process. So ultimately, being in that framework would render everything as Swami's will, whatever happens for my good. That kind of acceptance also it leads to. So that whole cascade, basically to go back to what sister was asking, yes, everything is from Bhagawan, by Bhagawan, for Bhagawan. That kind of a.
Thank you very much, Satish.
Sorry, how do you get out of the I guess what you mentioned about, so then means even the bad speech, the bad thoughts, all of that is also from the same anahata.
So I think that, I will open it up for others to discuss, share anything before I say anything. Anyone has something to say to this question? So how do we get out of this, anahata, not coming through as something bad? So Sairam Kalyani, so the thing is, Swami says, any impurity, any ignorance is the cause of anahata not coming through. So all sadhana is to the cleansing process. So there's no shortcut. So it is steady cleansing of anything which blocks. Swami has also used the word, if you become empty like the flute, my music will flow through. Every, just the flute is nothing but our body, and you keep it empty, then everything, whatever I want to tune, I want to play, I will play. So that is total surrender. So total surrender and cleaning,
Yeah.
attaining, Chitta Suddhi, or cleanliness of all kinds in our heart is the whole purpose of sadhana. There is no shortcut. Until we do that, the sound, when it comes through, it will be distorted. It will be colored by our qualities, our vasanas. And then even though God started out, sent a good thing, how it manifests is because of the impurities which we may have within us. So for that only, Swami has given all the discipline, which is in the Geetha Vahini also, Swami has given a series of things which we have to watch out for, so that we empty ourselves, keep ourselves pure,
Hollow.
so hollow, and without any ego. That is the ultimate thing. And then he will blow, and we will all, not only us, people around, everyone should hear this Anahata Dhvani and experience it. And it is not something which is heard through the physical ear, but it's just experience. I would say, that is what Swami, when people who are with rightly tuned, when we are there in Parthi, when Swami comes out, or even at centers when we go, if we have the right state of mind, without any reason, it will do something to us. And that's an experience only each person can experience. It cannot be even described, is what I feel. So it's a long process. To the entire sadhana is only to be able to listen to the Anahata Dhvani, undiluted, undisturbed, pure. Is my understanding. I hope that answers.
Thank you. Yes, that clarifies it.
It's 4:23.
Okay.
I think, if you start reading that, itself will take a few minutes.
Yeah.
So I don't know if anyone has something to share, please do share. Otherwise, I think we have enough things to meditate on. We can go and revise some of the stuff which we read before.
For sure.
Brother. So
yes.
everything based on the mind. So if your mind is based on the worldly thing, so we are focused on that one. We are not going to do any sadhana or anything. But if our mind is focused on spiritual thing, then we can attain our goal. So with the God and everything, and whatever we studied and whatever we practice, then we able to hear that sound. Thank you.
Sorry, I'm sorry, just a kind of a silly question, but so Swami's saying how Telugu has 52 letters and there's 52 petals, but say if you speak English, does that mean you're not using all your petals, or?
Yes. No, exactly the point. See, that is why, Swami has insisted on Sanskrit. I think there are at least, I can see about 200, 300 instances of Swami speaking about Sanskrit, the importance of Sanskrit, because how scientifically it has been developed, which is necessary for the physical health, mental health, emotional health, health at all levels, at the pranic level and so on. So that is the reason that each of the sounds are needed. Otherwise, we are only triggering certain petals, and you are right. Our thoughts and everything will change if we can't, if it's a bit more, if some of those untouched petals are moved. I think that's rightly said. It's not a silly question. It's a very important question.
Yes.
And the importance of sound, that is called Nadopasana. That is upasana of sound itself. So if by just chanting Om, actually will vibrate all petals. Chanting Om itself. There's a reason why Swami has asked us to chant 21 times. That is a basic. But from that, if individually mantras, Vedic chanting and all designed in such a way that they vibrate the body, and the people can see physical, mental, emotional differences if once we undertake something like that. Very serious.
And just to make sure I understood that previous point correctly, is that so Swami or God, the Anahata, it does only send positive or, good impulses, but it's our impurities that affect how, that comes out as our thought, word, and deed.
Uncolored.
Uncolored. Okay,
Uncolored.
that's better. Okay.
It is beyond even the vasana.
Good or bad. Okay.
Good or bad. It's beyond that. But the thing is, by removing the tamasic, then removing the rajasic, and having sattvic, help the cleansing process better. But it is beyond anything to be called good or bad or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's just like electricity. Is electricity good or bad? It can make many things function. So it is something of that sort.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, then I hope it's 4:26, almost 4:30. So we will close the session with Samastalok and Shanti and meet again with Saira. Om Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Hari Om. Sai Ram.
Sai Ram.
Sai Ram, thank you so much.